Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Cox, and I am the host of the New America Movement. We welcome you to our show today, and we've got a good one. It's good to have my son, Jordan Cox, as my host.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
We got some good things to talk about tonight, son, and one of those things that we're seeing in the news has to do with Biden's policies. I would say it's coming to bite him on the bottom end here because he has literally opened up the border in Texas. And we've all watched this play out on our news media where literally thousands of illegal immigrants a day are flooding our borders. And it's not just good people looking for work. It's not people that are looking and seeking asylum because they're being oppressed. It is people coming in our country to sell drugs, to bring fentanyl in our country. It is criminals. It is people from other countries, China, Russia, wherever it may be, to do us harm. It is people from the Middle East. It is people from all over walks of life who see this as a way to get into our country and to escape our immigration system. Now, Biden is okay with that, and most people on the left seem to think it's a good idea. We know it's a disaster. And the sad thing about it, places like Arizona and Texas are paying the big price for it because they have all these illegal aliens flooding their towns. And it's not just that they're here to do a job or here to work or seek better, but like I say, they're here on a mission to sell drugs, to commit crimes. Not all of them, but enough a percentage to where you would have to say this is not healthy for the country. And the president has a mandate in our Constitution that says he has to protect our borders from foreign immigration into this country. There has to be a legal system in which you follow by. You just can't open up borders and allow anybody to come in and out. And Biden is doing that, and it's causing havoc for the residents of the people in Texas. And Governor Abbott is on the job. And I know he's going to get a lot of hate mail because people around the country are not going to appreciate his new stance on how to deal with illegal immigration. Jordan, take off on it. Kind of tell us what you think he's doing.
Well, first of all, I love what Governor Abbott's doing. And what he's doing is, this is what it's called, bring the border to Biden. And the reason that he's doing this is because for months upon months before he even decided to send these buses of immigrants to D.C., he was pleading with people saying, hey, like, we're getting flooded over here with illegal immigrants. There's immigrants that cross over illegally that farmers have been told that they won't even let their kids go out and play anymore without a gun. This is no joke. They say they won't let and these are not like little 6-year-old kids. These are like 16, 17-year-olds going and doing their chores and stuff outside. They won't even let them go outside without a weapon because they have actually seen dead bodies on their property. They have actually seen illegal immigrants running through their property, and they're scared their kids are going to get hurt. Okay? So now if you're the governor of this state, what would you do? Your people are coming to you saying, hey, this is a problem. You know, when 4 years ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it wasn't like this. And now I'm having to kill people because they're trying to come on my property. They're trying to come into my house. I'm having to arm my kids because I'm terrified they're going to get taken. What do I do? Well, Greg Abbott said, you know what? I got an idea. Let's bring the border to Biden. I'm sick and tired of asking this man to stop this. So I'm going to take it to him. So he did the greatest thing in the world. He said, you know what? I'm going to load them up and I'm going to send them to D.C. Now, I know all y'all have heard this. Jen Psaki came out and said, this is a publicity stunt. She said, I don't believe any governor of any state can legally do this unless they agree to come. Well, you got 4 buses already up there, and I think there's about 1 a day going up there, so it looks like they're wanting to come meet the man that's welcomed them with open arms. I mean, wouldn't you? Does the greatest thing. Sends these illegal immigrants up to Biden. And he tells D.C., you deal with them. You want them, you house them. You want them, you feed them. You want them, you make them part of your city and your economy. You wanted all of this. You can have them. That's fine. Take them. Something tells me that Joe Biden really don't want these people in D.C. Something just tells me that these people don't want illegal immigrants in their state either. Because if they did, they would say, okay, we'll take them. Come on. You know what? Better yet, we'll come get them. You ain't even got to make the drive. We'll come get them. So he sends about a 1,500 mile drive or so, and they get food, drinks, all sorts of stuff. Y'all may see on the news where they say, oh, they come with the clothes on their backs and stuff like that. Well, yeah, that's what they crossed over the border with. But they get food, they get drinks, they're well fed. Every one of them that got off that bus said, because you better believe every person out there was trying to find a reason somebody didn't get taken care of on this bus. But they all said, yeah, we're taken care of. We're good. So here comes the question, though. D.C., are you going to accept these people? Better yet, D.C. residents, are you going to open up your homes, your bedrooms, your extra rooms to these people? All you liberals out there, this is your time for you to speak up and say, oh my gosh, yes, come stay with me. I got clean sheets. I got it all. And it's a safe place. You ain't got to worry about nothing. That's what y'all should be saying. That's what y'all should be. This is the progressive left I'm talking to. I'm talking to the progressive left. Y'all are so tolerant. Y'all accept everybody. Y'all love everybody. Y'all are the only group in the world that loves everybody. Nobody but y'all. Because if you say no, if you say, hold on, I don't agree that Greg Abbott is sending these people up here. I don't agree. Why? Biden's the one that wrote the policy to make this happen. He thought they would stay in Texas. He thought they would stay in Arizona's. He thought they would stay in these states. He never once thought that these governors like Ron DeSantis would get up and say, I'll send them to Delaware. Biden's home state. Guess this whole moral of the story. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it.
It is a problem, and I think people around America have been crying out for the Biden administration to step up and stop this. It's just logical as a world leader, the president of the United States, that you realize that most of the people in this country do oppose that. And I'll guarantee you, if you took a poll in Texas on how popular Biden would be, it would be in the low 30s.
It would probably be in the low 20s.
And the drive behind this is the obvious that people are seeing how he's abusing the state, and he's not stepping up doing his job. There has to be an aggressive path to deal with this, and to just throw your hands up and say nothing about it and do nothing with it is a disaster for the state of Texas and a lot of people on the borders of Arizona. Not an easy answer for this, but you can stop it and you can slow it down, and you can, as a president, say that, look, we need to allow some of these into this country, but we need to set a system up that's going to slow it down and not allow just anybody to cross this border. I think most of America is saying enough is enough. And I'm not going to say this is not a political ploy. I think ultimately he'd like to send more of them around the country so there's more balance as to where they are. But it certainly sends a national and political message to the Biden administration and even around the world that a lot of people in America are just not happy about this. And I think Biden would be smart by stepping up to the plate and dealing with it. But, he was at a meeting. I forgot where I saw it at this week, but he reached out to shake hands. And he just shook hands with thin air. There wasn't anybody even there. And I'm thinking, wow, this is the leader of the free world. And I'm just wondering, cognitively, is he able to deal with these issues? And if not, who's dealing with them? And is this just something that they're saying it's easier to sweep it under the rug and ignore it than try to deal with it? But to get all that flack back, where all these governors along these southern states are saying, hey, do something about this, and you do nothing about it, wouldn't it be easier to say, hey, we're going to put our best foot forward and we're going to try to curtail this problem and deal with it?
Right.
Especially, now, and let me say this too. I don't know if you looked at it statistics, but the other day I saw where over 100,000 people a year are dying of drug overdose. A lot of that is because of fentanyl, but it is crack, it's heroin, it's all these drugs that are coming across the border. Yeah. And when you think about losing over 110,000 people in this country, and those numbers are the highest they have been with the Biden administration. They're the highest they have ever been.
You know why? Because they put Narcan in the doggone vending machines for these people to come in here and get it. Go ahead.
But the problem of it is Biden's administration and policy on the border is a disaster, because it shows in the fact that literally tens of thousands of people a year are dying because of this policy. Now, I know some are going to die, but the numbers are higher than they've ever been, and it is a result of this policy. So you can't tell me that the border is good for America, because it's not. We have to figure out a different way to deal with it.
We have a legal process.
Yeah, we need to go through the legal policy, the legal process. But now, far as Abbott sending these people on a bus to D.C., I think it sends a clear message to people in D.C. that this is going to hit home with you. Now, if he sends one a day, and if Florida picks up on it and other places pick up on it, then D.C. will be flooded with a lot of illegal people in that country. Now, D.C. already has a lot of international people, and I go to D.C. a good bit, and I would say I like 99.9% of them are very good people. I love eating in the ethnic restaurants in D.C., so I mean, I don't have an issue with it. I like it, but they came legally.
Correct.
But to bring people illegally into this country is going to be a strain on D.C., because now you've got to figure out what to do. Where are you going to put these people at? How are you going to feed them? But that's the same thing that Texas is facing.
Exactly.
How are we going to feed them? What are we going to do with them? They're coming across the border.
That's the point.
And they're having to steal to eat, and they're having to sell drugs to get money to feed their families. Yeah. So it's not a benefit to anybody for this to happen. It's an extremely poor foreign policy, like many of the Biden administration that they keep bumping out with. And, it is a sad day for America to see these problems and yet see an inability for us to resolve it, when an overwhelming majority of people would say, stop it, fix it. Okay, a lot of people didn't like Trump's wall. A lot of people didn't like his rhetoric on it. But my gracious, there was some control at the border, and now there's nothing. It's just come across the border, do as you please, bring whatever you want across the border. It's okay. The Biden administration needs to be very, very careful here, because if, in fact, something bad happens in this country, like some type of a terrorist attack or thing that occurs, and it's traced back to the fact that it came, or that person came across the border with that, I mean, it's going to really damage the Democratic Party. And I don't know why they don't see that and say, you know what, before we let that happen, because if it does, I mean, the right are going to jump on it and say, we tried to tell you. America tried to tell you. The people of Texas and Arizona tried to tell you. The people in Florida tried to tell you. Stop it. Put some restraints on this. And now you have a national issue because of the policies that you have allowed to take place.
And I wonder how many people have died trying to do all this. I mean, you have all of these people coming to these borders. A lot of them die before they get there.
There's obviously, well, because there's a lot of human trafficking going across that border too. Probably 75% of the kids that get kidnapped in this country are sold into sex slavery, and they go across that border.
So I'm glad you brought that up real fast, and I'll shoot it back to you. I wonder, is sex trafficking up or down since Biden's been in office and opened up the border? Is it up or down? Somebody let me know in the comments. Is it up or is it down?
Well, obviously all crime of this nature is going to be up, because you don't have a way of censoring and stopping it. So, if I was a Democratic leader, I would say, look, Biden, we need to put some restraints on this, because Most people in America see what's happening here, and we need to fix this. We need to get out in front of it and find a way to resolve it. Well, Jordan, it's been a great show with you, son. We've talking about a lot of interesting things today. So I hope the American people realize that these are issues that we're facing in this country.
Absolutely.
And I know every time you go into a Walmart, and every time you go into a Dollar General, you're going to see illegals everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, I would say this, treat those people nice and decent with respect. Don't treat them bad, mean, or they will, because they're human beings, and they're taking advantage of an opportunity. I don't blame them for doing that. These are people who are wanting to make their lives better. They just don't realize that the process is going to poison a lot of things in this country. So I would say that it's going to hit home. It's going to take away jobs. It's going to take away opportunity for minorities and other people in this country that need those opportunities, because these people that are illegal are going to come into this country, are going to do one of three things, or maybe all three. They're going to work illegally, they're going to steal, or sell drugs. Now, if you know another way that they can survive in this country, let me know. We'd love to see a comment on it, because if you're in this country and you've got kids, or you're just hungry, how are you going to get food? You're going to have to steal it, or you're going to have to work illegally for cash, or you're going to have to figure out
a way. Story from every person that's came out of the hood is I couldn't provide food for my babies or whatever, so I had to go here and sling some dope.
They have an opportunity to work. Illegals won't have that opportunity. So you got to do three things. You go to D.C., you're going to have to steal, you're going to have to work illegally, or you're going to have to sell drugs. So none of those three things are fair to U.S. citizens. And I don't think it's fair to immigrants, and I don't think it's fair to illegals. I don't think it's fair to American citizens. So it's just a matter of good policy. Let's fix this. Let's move on. America, get some wisdom. Think about what's happening, because these policies affect everybody. Every time you ride down the street, it hits home to us. Folks, we appreciate you. New America Movement, God bless you. Have a great day. Jordan, sign off real quick.
Appreciate you guys. And hey, comment, like, share New America Movement. We're here every week. We want you guys with us, so comment, like, share New America Movement. Check us out on Roku, on America Voice Network. You don't want to miss it.
Thank you. God bless you, and have a great day.